If you're seeing this, it means you've already been chosen by a higher law. It means something deep within you has shifted so quietly, so subtly, that the outer world is just beginning to reflect it. Money is not coming because of effort. It's not on its way because of how hard you've worked or how much you planned. It's on its way because of who you've become in consciousness. The moment you saw this, a signal was sent, not to the outside world, but to your inner reality. And that inner world is the only cause of what you see. You are not meant to chase money. You are meant to become the one who has already received it. You may not feel it in your hands yet, but it's already in your field. It's traveling through channels unseen, shaped by your inner conviction and clothed in the energy of your belief. The unseen precedes the seen. The invisible creates the visible. That is the eternal law. Do not ask when. Do not ask how. Simply know. Money has already been dispatched to you. Like a letter already posted with your name on it, it is finding its way. Your only task is to hold the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Feel now what you would feel if it were already here. And I tell you, that feeling is the bridge to its arrival. You are not here to hope or wish or beg. You are here to create. And creation begins with acceptance, with the assumption that what you desire is already yours. For money to find you, you must stop searching for it and start becoming the one who it naturally flows to. This is your confirmation. If you're seeing this, money is already on its way. Don't disturb the process with doubt. Don't slow it with worry. Walk in the knowing. Breathe as the person who already has it. Act as if it is normal for abundance to find you, because it is. Your thoughts are instructions. Your imagination is the blueprint. Your feeling is the magnet. You've placed the order, and the universe has already confirmed it. There's nothing left to do except to dwell in the reality where it's already done. So now, relax, give thanks, smile with confidence. Because if you're seeing this, money is already on its way to you. What you believe to be true about yourself becomes your experience. This is not a poetic idea, nor is it a hopeful philosophy, it is a law. As you accept something inwardly, as you give it the dignity of truth within your consciousness, the world begins to reflect it faithfully. The outer world is not separate from you. It is the mirror of your inner convictions, your assumptions, your beliefs. Life does not respond to your words or your wishes, but to the core truths you hold about yourself in the silence of your own being. You may think you want wealth, love, peace, or success, but if your self-concept denies it, if your internal image of yourself is poor, undeserving, unworthy, or unseen, you will only attract confirmations of that. No matter how hard you work or how desperately you pray, if the belief behind your actions is one of lack or inferiority, that will shape your results. You cannot receive what you have not accepted as true about yourself. You will never rise above the concept you hold in your imagination of who you are. This is the great secret. The world is not happening to you, it is happening from you. You are the root cause. You are the source. And everything that flows into your life is simply returning to you the belief you have planted and nourished within. There is no trick, no superstition, no magic beyond this. Whatever you claim as true in your imagination, you will experience with your senses, whether in joy or sorrow. Think now the story you have been telling yourself. Do you walk through life as someone who's always behind, always missing out, always struggling? That is not the truth of who you are, but it becomes your reality if you persist in that belief. Have you told yourself that money is hard to come by, that you are invisible in love, that you are too damaged, too late, too far gone? These thoughts do not come from the world. And once believed, they must be played out in your life as experience. Your consciousness is the stage, and whatever you rehearse within it must be performed on the screen of life, no exception. The world is not selective. It does not reward the good and punish the bad. It reflects the belief. Always. That is why two people can live under the same conditions and one thrives while the other suffers. One believes they are chosen, blessed, worthy, and so life says yes. The other believes they are cursed, overlooked, forgotten, and life says yes to that too. Not because the universe has favorites, but because it has laws. To change your life, you must change your belief about yourself. You must dare to believe you are already the person you desire to become. Not someday, now, in this very moment. Even if your senses tell you otherwise, even if your bank account whispers lack, even if your relationships echo rejection. These things are not final. They are echoes of old beliefs. They are remnants of past assumptions. If you want a new experience, you must stop feeding the old story. Begin now to speak to yourself differently, not with empty affirmations, but with inner conviction. Look in the mirror of your soul and tell yourself what is true. I am wealthy, I am loved, I am powerful. I am whole, not because the world has confirmed it, but because you have. You must believe it before you see it. That is the law, as within, so without. You are never stuck, you are never helpless. You are simply experiencing what you have believed. The moment you change your belief, everything begins to rearrange. Doors open, people shift, opportunities appear. Not because they were not there before, but because your eyes were not open to them. The inner shift reveals the outer blessing. It is never about forcing the world to give you what you want. It is always about becoming the one who already has it. When you believe in your own worth, when you walk as the one who is already chosen, already successful, already loved, then life must rise to meet that belief. You are not here to chase reality. You are here to create it. And you create it not by effort or struggle, but by what you claim to be true about yourself. So if you want to change your life, start there, not outside but inside, in the secret place, in the silence. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Rest in the truth of your new identity, for what you believe to be true about yourself, quietly, faithfully, and persistently, will become your experience. Money responds to your inner state, not your effort. This truth may seem offensive to those who have been conditioned to believe that hard work alone is the path to wealth. Society often tells us that effort is everything. Wake up early, grind without rest, sacrifice sleep, and eventually you'll be rewarded. But how many people do you know who work tirelessly with all their strength and time and still find themselves struggling financially? And how many others seem to attract money with ease, with less visible struggle, yet always seem to have more than enough? The difference is not in what they do, it's in how they feel. It's in the inner state from which they act. Your relationship with money is not built by your hands, but by your mind. It is your beliefs, assumptions, and emotional tone about money that dictate how it flows into your life. If deep down you believe that money is hard to come by, then no matter how many hours you work or how many projects you start, your reality will confirm that belief. You'll find yourself in situations that mirror your inner struggle. Delays, unexpected expenses, and lack will follow you, not because you aren't trying, but because your inner state is one of scarcity. On the other hand, when a person assumes wealth as natural, as their divine right, as something that flows freely into their life, they carry an energy that attracts money like a magnet. They are not desperate. They are not anxious. Their actions may even appear simple or minimal, but the results are extraordinary. Why? Because the energy behind their actions is aligned with abundance, not lack. The universe does not respond to the action itself. It responds to the state from which the action comes. It's not that effort has no value, but effort without alignment becomes empty. You can run on a treadmill for years and never get anywhere if your thoughts are stuck in limitation. You must understand that money, like all things, responds to vibration. It responds to feeling. It responds to the state of being you embody most consistently. You don't need to chase money. You need to become the version of yourself that money is already trying to reach. When your inner world is saturated with wealth, when you feel prosperous, even if your wallet says otherwise, then you are beginning to shift reality. Money begins to show up in unexpected ways. You find yourself at the right place at the right time. The path opens. Why? Because you changed internally. You began to walk as the person who already receives money. And so life had no choice but to rearrange itself to match that. Effort born from fear, from desperation, from not enough will never lead to lasting abundance. It may produce temporary results, but they will not last. Because the core belief, the inner state, remains rooted in lack. And the law is clear. As within, so without. When you shift from I have to work hard to survive to I am already abundant, and my actions are just expressions of that truth, then you begin to operate from power, not panic. Then effort becomes joyful, not burdensome, inspired, not forced. Money doesn't come because you deserve it more than someone else. It comes because your consciousness is ready to receive it. If your inner self-image is still small, if you still see money as something outside of you, something to be earned with pain and stress, then you are holding it away from you. Money is not your enemy, it's not your master, it is your servant. And it serves the image you hold of yourself. So ask yourself, not what more you can do, but who you are being. Are you being the person who expects wealth, who welcomes it, who feels worthy of it, who believes it comes easily? Or are you being the one who doubts, who worries, who chases, but never quite catches? Your inner state is the soil. Money is the fruit. You cannot reap abundance from seeds of scarcity. The most powerful shift you can make is not to increase your hustle, but to upgrade your identity. Walk as the person who already has what you desire. Speak like them, think like them, feel like them, and you will find that money begins to appear. Not because of how hard you tried, but because of who you dared to become within. Money responds to your inner state, always. And when your inner world is rich, peaceful, and confident, your outer world cannot help but follow. The feeling of wealth must come before the evidence of it. This is the hidden order of creation that many overlook. We are conditioned to wait for external proof before granting ourselves the internal permission to feel rich, secure, or abundant. But the truth is reversed. It is the inner acceptance, the quiet conviction that you are already wealthy, that precedes and attracts the outward signs of wealth. Life is not waiting to reward your hard work with a paycheck. It is waiting to mirror the truth you dare to hold in your imagination. When you feel poor, even in the presence of money, you will lose it. When you feel rich, even in the absence of money, it will find you. Why? Because the outer world must conform to your inner state. It cannot do otherwise. Your reality is a faithful servant of your consciousness. It is not influenced by the words you speak, but by the assumptions you carry. You can say, I am wealthy 1,000 times, but if you feel lack, worry, or fear underneath, that is the message being heard and returned. So what does it mean to feel wealthy before the evidence arrives? It means to step into the emotional state of already having. It means to abandon the waiting, the striving, the searching, and instead to rest in the knowing that it is already yours. Not someday, now, right here in this moment. You carry within you the power to become whatever you assume yourself to be. If you feel rich regardless of your current circumstances, you begin to radiate the signal of abundance, and the world must respond. This is not delusion, it is not fantasy, it is the creative law at work. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. You cannot fool life. You cannot pretend to be rich while secretly holding on to lack in your heart. It will always expose the deeper truth. That is why the inner work is everything. You must purify your inner world until your dominant feeling is one of wholeness, gratitude, and sufficiency. Then, and only then, will the outer world rearrange to reflect it. But this requires discipline. It requires you to reject the evidence of the senses and trust the evidence of your imagination. The senses may show a small bank account, unpaid bills, or lifestyle you wish to escape, but you must not bow to appearances. Appearances are just the shadows of old beliefs. They are not permanent. They are not reality. The only true reality is what you are imagining and feeling now. If you continue to feel poor, worried, or envious of others, you will continue to create more situations that echo those feelings. But if you deliberately cultivate the feeling of I have more than enough, if you begin to move through the world as if wealth is normal for you, then that feeling becomes a new seed, and seeds, when watered by faith and repetition, must grow into visible form. The key is to practice this feeling in the quiet moments, when no one is watching, when you are not being tested by the world. Imagine walking into a room knowing you can afford anything. Imagine opening your wallet and knowing it is always full. Imagine paying for something without checking your account, because abundance is your nature. Feel that deeply. Live in it, not as a dream, but as a reality already unfolding. Your mind will resist. It will remind you of the facts. It will scream, but look at the bills, look at the bank statement. But facts change. They are not eternal. Your current situation is just a reflection of past thinking. It has no power unless you give it power. The only thing that is real, the only thing that creates, is the feeling you accept as true now. So take back your power. Stop waiting for the world to give you permission to feel rich. Give it to yourself right now. Wear it like a coat. Let it influence how you walk, how you speak, how you think. The evidence will come, not because you chased it, but because you became the person who always had it. That is the secret of all manifestation. It is not a process of achieving, but of assuming. You become what you believe, and you attract what you feel. The feeling of wealth is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is not fantasy, it is foundation. Build your world on that inner conviction, and life will pour into your hands the visible proof. But the proof comes last. The feeling comes first, always. You are not waiting for money. Money is responding to your assumption. This is the profound truth hidden in plain sight, overlooked by those who believe life is a matter of chance, effort, or external conditions. The mind, when rightly used, is not a passive observer of the world. It is the cause of it. You are not sitting idly while money moves toward you at its own pace. Rather, money is moving according to the assumptions you hold, whether you are conscious of them or not. Most people believe they are waiting for a breakthrough, for a raise, for a lucky moment, or a door to open. But the truth is that life waits on you, not with arms folded in judgment, but with infinite readiness to reflect back whatever you have accepted as true. When you assume poverty, life becomes a mirror of lack. When you assume abundance, life reorganizes itself to express that abundance. There is no delay but the one you create by clinging to your current self-concept. Assumption is not wishful thinking. It is not daydreaming or empty hope. It is a settled knowing, a quiet, unshakable conviction that what you desire is already yours. You do not beg for it. You do not chase it. You live from it. You walk in the world with the confidence of one who already possesses what they once longed for. And as surely as the sun rises, life conforms to match that inner state. This is why some people with seemingly less effort attract more wealth, while others work tirelessly with little to show for it. The difference lies not in talent or timing, but in assumption. The wealthy do not merely have money, they expect it. They do not worry where the next dollar will come from because they assume it will come. That assumption opens doors, attracts ideas, inspires action, and brings opportunities into their path. You may say, but I need the money now. How can I assume something that isn't here? That is the great paradox. To receive, you must first feel as if you already have. Your imagination is the womb of reality. What you plant there through repeated assumption and emotion must emerge into form. The moment you shift your internal state, your thoughts, your feelings, your belief, everything outside begins to move. You are not at the mercy of economy, education, or environment. You are at the mercy of your own consciousness. If you assume that money is hard to get, you will always be in situations that prove you right. If you assume that money flows to you with ease even when you don't know how, you activate a new current in your life. Money begins to respond not to effort, but to identity. It answers to who you are being on the inside. And so the work is inward. The outer action comes later and naturally. When you change your assumptions about money, when you stop seeing it as something far away, something for other people, something that is limited, you invite it in. Begin by catching your language. How do you speak about money? Do you say, I can't afford that, I never have enough, or money doesn't come easily? Those words are born of assumptions, and those assumptions become your reality. Change your assumption, and your language will follow. Begin to assume you are wealthy, supported, and always provided for. Don't look for evidence, be the evidence. Don't wait for the bank account to change before you change your self-concept. That is living in reaction. Live from cause. Be the one who knows their supply is unlimited. Walk with the feeling of already having received. Close your eyes and imagine the life you would live if money were never again a concern. Feel that life, not later, now. Speak from that life, think from that life, and most importantly, assume that life, not as a maybe, but as a fact, because in the invisible realm of consciousness, it already is. Your only task is to bring that unseen reality into the seen through your assumption. You are not waiting. There is no delay unless you create one by doubting, questioning, or reverting to old beliefs. Money does not delay, it only mirrors. Change what you expect and you change what you experience. Assume wealth not tomorrow but today and watch how quickly life responds. Not because you forced it, but because you finally became the one money was always searching for. Imagination is the only channel through which wealth flows. It is not one of many paths, it is the path. Everything you now see, own, or experience once lived in someone's imagination. The phone in your hand, the chair beneath you, the room you're in, all of it existed first as a vision, a picture in the unseen, before it took form. Wealth is no different. It does not originate in banks, jobs, or markets. It is born in thought, molded by feeling, delivered through sustained belief. And imagination is the tool that shapes it all. You may think money comes through work, effort, hustle, or hard labor, but these are only the outer appearances, the visible effects. The real work, the creative work, happens in the mind. It is the quiet rehearsal of abundance, the vivid inner scenes where you are already living in the wealth you desire. It is not about wishing. It is about experiencing in consciousness that which has not yet appeared in time. That is the secret. Whatever you experience in your imagination with feeling and conviction must eventually express itself in your outer world. The mistake most people make is believing that imagination is fantasy, something disconnected from reality. But the truth is, imagination creates reality. It is the blueprint from which life is built. You cannot live a life of prosperity while imagining poverty. You cannot expect abundance while rehearsing scenarios of struggle in your mind. The outer world is simply a mirror reflecting the inner world, and the inner world is sculpted by imagination. So ask yourself, what do you picture when you think of money? Do you see difficulty, scarcity, and lack? Do you picture unpaid bills, rejected opportunities, or a future of just scraping by? Then do not be surprised when life delivers the same. Not because life is cruel, but because it is obedient. It must give you what you continuously imagine, especially when that imagination is mixed with emotion. To change your financial world, you must first change the images you hold inside. Begin to see yourself already in possession of wealth, not in the future, but now. Feel the weight of money in your hands, hear the sound of ease in your conversations. See yourself living the life that up until now you've only admired from a distance. The key is vividness. Make the scene in your imagination more real than the current facts. The world will try to convince you that imagination is weak, that action is all that matters, but action without vision is motion without purpose. It is running in circles. When you act from a state of fear or lack, even the most intense effort yields little. But when you move from an imagined state of wealth, your steps are guided. Opportunities appear. People are drawn to you. Ideas emerge from nowhere. Why? Because you've aligned yourself with the source of wealth, which is within, not without. The truth is, wealth is not something you acquire. It is something you become. And imagination is the furnace in which that new self is forged. When you imagine, you are not pretending. You are creating. Each time you return to the inner scene of abundance, each time you feel the joy of already having, you are impressing your subconscious with a new pattern. And once impressed, the subconscious will seek expression. It will draw to you the circumstances and people needed to bring that image to life. But you must be consistent. Imagination is a living thing. It must be fed. Not once or twice, but daily. Just as a plant needs sunlight and water, your vision needs repetition and faith. If you sow a seed and keep digging it up to check if it's growing, it will never flourish. Likewise, if you imagine wealth but constantly cancel it with doubt, fear, and reality checks, you will never see it appear. Hold to the vision, even when nothing around you seems to support it, especially then. For that is when your faith is being forged. That is when you declare to life, I believe in the power within me more than the evidence before me. And life will respond. It always does. Not on your timeline, but in perfect timing. The outer always bends to the inner, never the other way around. So make imagination your home. Go there often. Build your wealth there first. Feel it, touch it, live it in your mind until it becomes more natural than the struggle you've known. And one day, not suddenly but surely, the world will catch up. The wealth you imagined will become the wealth you possess. Not because you chased it, but because you imagined it and became it. If you've seen the sign, it's already done. Your job is to align, not chase. The moment you receive a sign, a glimpse, or even a whisper of the thing you desire, it is not a future promise. It is a present confirmation. You are not being teased by the universe. You are being shown what already exists for you in the unseen. Your job is not to beg for it, strive for it, or run after it like it's slipping away. Your only task is to align your inner world to the reality that it is already yours. What does it mean to align? It means to accept the end as Dhammu, to live in the state of already having, to think from the result, not toward it. When you chase something, you admit without realizing that you do not have it, you confess its absence by your striving, and so it stays away, because life responds not to your effort, but to your being. If you are being someone who is still reaching, grasping, hoping, then you will live in that state of almost, of nearly, of not quite. But if you shift into the state of, I have it already, your world will catch up. That sign you saw, that dream that stirred you, that repeating number, that name you keep hearing, that image that lit a fire inside you, it was not random. It was your future calling you back home. It was your higher self reminding you what you've already chosen on a soul level. But here's the catch. Once the vision has been seen, it's about becoming the version of yourself who already lives in that vision. And you are not trying to get rich. You are aligning with the version of you who already is. You are not trying to find love. You are aligning with the version of you who is already in that relationship. You are not trying to succeed. You are aligning with the self that is already successful. This is the sacred difference between chasing and aligning. One implies separation, the other confirms union. Chasing is exhausting. It wears you down. It makes you question, doubt, and shrink. Alignment is peaceful. It centers you. It builds quiet confidence. You begin to walk differently, talk differently, think differently, not because of what you hope will happen, but because of what you've already decided is happening. Your thoughts, words, and actions begin to mirror the outcome, not in desperation, but in certainty. You may ask, how do I align? You start by observing your inner conversation. What do you say to yourself when no one is listening? Do you speak from lack or from abundance? Do you say, I hope it comes, or I know it's mine? Do you feel anxious when you think of your desire, or do you feel grateful? Alignment feels like peace. It feels like a quiet yes echoing within your chest. It is the surrender of doubt and the acceptance of truth. It is already done. Your imagination is your greatest tool. Use it. Enter the scene where you already have what you seek. Don't watch it like a movie. Be in it. Feel the textures, hear the sounds, breathe in the moment. Allow it to become more real than your current circumstances. Visit that place often. Dwell in the fulfillment. Make it familiar. Because what is familiar to your inner world will soon become familiar in your outer one. You don't need to chase signs. You don't need to look for more proof. The fact that you saw it once is proof enough. You were given the glimpse so that you could become the one who receives it. Don't ask when or how. Those are questions of the mind. The soul already knows the answer. Now. It is already yours. There's nothing to wait for. There's only the alignment with what is already waiting for you. Alignment is not just belief, it's embodiment. Live today as if it were already true, not to fake it, but to faithfully act from it. Let your energy speak louder than your effort. Let your inner posture do the calling. The one who aligns does not beg, they trust. They move in faith, they act with grace. And because of this, they receive what others only chase. So when you see the sign, smile, don't run after it. Don't analyze it. Receive it. Honor it. And return to yourself, to the version of you who knows the way. Walk in the vibration of already having, and the world will mirror back the only thing it ever responds to, your inner assumption it's already done. Your only job is to match it. Understand this deeply. You are not waiting for wealth, for love, or for success. These things are already yours in the unseen, responding not to your effort, but to your state of being. The outer world is simply echoing back your inner assumptions, your imaginal acts, your felt truths. When you saw the sign, the vision, the glimpse, it was not a coincidence. You are the cause, you are the channel. Imagination is your power. Feeling is the secret, and assumption is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. Stop chasing, start embodying. Act not from lack, but from the end. Walk as one who knows, not one who waits. And the life you once dreamed of will become the life you wake up in. Thank you for walking this journey within. May you trust your vision, align with your truth, and receive all that is already yours.